Hi, everyone, and welcome to the Gentleman's Talk. Here we are, back again, live, back again. Absolutely love it, ecstatic. Just waiting. I've just sent an invite to Banterman Billy to get him on board. Let's have a good chat with him. So we were chatting away today, and he said, "Should we do a live?" I was like, "Absolutely, mate. Let's jump on and have a chat, because I do enjoy having a good old chin wag on the lives." Anyway, I digress already. I'm already digressing. Whilst we wait for Banterman Billy to join us, I want to talk about some good news. Nelly's in board as well. Hey, Nelly, how's it going, buddy? Yeah, boy. Nelly's on as well, man. Absolutely love it. So yeah, I just want to. I've got some good news. Boom, baby's on board. Love it, mate. Love it. So yeah, live. I've got some good news. I've got some good news to start off with. What's the good news? Well, first off, I need to announce, because I think it's only right that I do this, that happy birthday to my very good friend Kieran. He is 41 today. He looks 70, which is an absolutely incredible thing. And how he gets away with it, I don't know. Your rash is cleared up. Your rash is cleared up. So yeah, happy birthday to him. He's 41. And I just want to shout out, use the platform that you've got to acknowledge. And I know, and to be honest, I don't think we do that enough. Inherently, why I'm talking to you right now is because we don't talk enough. And you know, that's one of the things, we don't often say that to our mates, do we? Unless you've got a close network and you sort of really know when their birthdays are. And I know that men are inherently bad for knowing when birthdays are. Christ, if you asked me when my daughter's birthday was, I could only tell you one of them, because it's the 13th of March. And, I know that because it's my favourite number, my lucky number. And it's 13 as well, which is an unlucky number to remember, isn't it? So, we're inherently bad. So happy birthday to him. He's going to have a smashing night. I know he was on a gins last night, so probably had too many. He sounded tired. But anyway, I digress massively. And some other good news, some positive news from me, about me, because I'm going to be selfish. I'm going to steal the limelight for the right start. And basically, what's the good news? Well, we all know I've been dealing with mental health and all that sort of thing, and one of the biggest things I did was I sorted myself out, and I built myself up, and I went on to this journey, to try and sort myself out, try and grasp everything. And about 2 years ago, I think it was, no, it wouldn't have been, when was it? 12, 13, 14, 15. So 15 months ago, I started this education journey because I needed something to keep my mind occupied. As you probably know, with mental health, it's really important to keep your mind occupied. And one of the things I found that I enjoyed, and the reason I enjoyed it was because it was rewarding, and I mean very rewarding, was I started doing education. And I started at that would have been 39. I started to re-educate myself after being in a sole trade for 21 years. And that's all I knew. I had snippets. I'm not the most intelligent of guys. But what I do get excited about is when something rewards you. I'm very much like that, which is the ADHD aspect. You like to be rewarded. And you don't tend to get rewarding, or people being rewarded on a daily basis. So it's really important to try and find that. And that's what I found when I was doing education. I got instant gratification. I got a certificate. I got feedback from the tutor, and I got to learn something new. So the process to me was exceptional. I found it really, really interesting to do, and I could learn absolutely anything. So I was learning, right down to dog kennel catteries, how to train a dog, CBD. So the CBD aspect, the THC and the CBD in the marijuana. Well, obviously CBD is quite big now. Oh, here he is. Here's Bilster. Bilster's on. How's it going, mate?
Yo.
How's it going, mate? I was just saying, before I digress massively, you're here, Nelly's in the house, and we've also got FFGH Ipsy. So FFG Hipsky, I think his name is. I'm going to take a guess.
Cool.
Nelly was joining as well. Nelly, come on in, Nelly. Come on in, Nelster. So, yeah, before I... can I hear you?
Can you hear me?
Yeah, man. Yeah.
Okay, carry on. Sorry.
So it's all right, mate. So I was just saying, Bilster, absolutely just got some great news today. You haven't heard this news, so I was trying to sort of labour it a little bit to try and get you to hear it as well as Nelly, and it was already on. Anyway, let me. So I started this education journey. Break it down. I started this thing. You know what I'm like. I love courses and all that sort of crap, don't I?
Yeah.
And Nelly, are you eating?
I'm vaping and walking down the river, bruv.
I could bloody hear it, mate. You can hear it crunching.
I've just got good headphones, mate. So it's just I'll stop and stand by the river and have a goosey gander while you chin work. Carry on.
Right,
what is the good news, James? I've been here for 25 minutes and I still don't know the good news.
Get me the good news. So I started this education journey. I was trying to put a bit of a mental health spin
on
it,
I get it.
And anyway, so today I got 3 rewards, ultimate rewards, I think, actually, for me. So I received my chartered status in management and leadership, which is like top level shit. The next one's fellowship.
Well done, bro.
Sorry, say again.
Well done, mate.
Thank you.
Fellowship of the Ring, more like.
And I received my chartered status in risk management, and I received my graduate status on the way to chartered status for my health and safety. So it really does pay to get stuck into something that you enjoy, because the rewards, I mean, to get all 3 emails today, because they're all from the same sort of area, was super exciting. So some good news there. So happy birthday to Kieran, and a little bit of a warm story from me. But let's break in. Bilster, Nelly, welcome.
Welcome, brother. Thank you.
Hey, Nelster.
Hello. I'm good, brother. You?
Yeah, man. All good. Just like I say, just jumping on live. I've got a couple of little topics to talk about, actually, so we can try and break it down, because last time me and Billy did this, we kind of digressed a little bit, didn't we?
Mm-hmm.
We went a little bit wayward, mate. So one thing we spoke about, I was chatting to Bilster earlier. And one thing we said we absolutely must talk about, and this is something that I actually watched, didn't really pay much attention to at the time, but I got this message from Bilster on social media, and it was of Paddy McGuinness. This not Paddy McGuinness, Paddy fucking McGuinness. Well, I was just watching him on fucking. I was watching him on Top Gear. Paddy Pimblett.
Yeah.
Paddy Pimblett, UFC fighter, and we were saying, like, I've spoken about a few things before about trying to, we have to talk and all that sort of stuff, and be open and honest, and the lack of it. But Billy, you absolutely sent that through, and what was your feelings on that, mate? How did it?
Go on.
No, it seemed like it hit you quite hard, because it was like the next day there was like 3 or 4 posts. You put it, you shared it straight on the Gentleman's Talk page, and I was like, fair fucking play, that's really good. So it must have hit you quite hard.
I just thought, mate, do you know what I mean? It's this, if this whole, you started this whole podcast journey and the YouTubes and stuff like that to get people to talk, because they just ain't bloody talking, and it's. And for Paddy Pimblett to just come out, think of all the thousands and thousands and probably millions of people that were watching that fight. For him to say, look, this stuff happens. It ain't just kept behind closed doors. It ain't just the I don't want to say nobodies, but I want, just the general public. It happens to, everyone, no matter what you do, people's bloody mates, top guys, top class boys are taking their own lives because they just ain't talking. And I thought, for him to say that we had this conversation earlier, and I said, look, don't even worry about how many people are downloading this thing. If there's 500 people that download it, and what we're saying, what we're talking about, makes just one person go, do you know what, I need to talk to someone, or do you know what, I think I might have a mental injury or a mental health issue and something, and they go to talk to someone, then it's all worth it. And for Paddy Pimblett to get on and mention it, who's, and it's such an influential fighter at the moment, I think it's just fantastic, mate. So I had to share it.
Yeah, and do you know what, mate? Do you know what? There's a couple of things that resonated with me a little bit. The first bit that resonated me was he's a young guy, and he's he's feeling the pressures that inherently you don't feel. The statistics say it's like 25 to 45, don't it? That's the statistics. He's not that age yet, so it's like he's already encountered, probably because of where he's from as well, the north, and they have inherent issues with mental health due to jobs and all that sort of stuff. But what got me was he was a young lad on a platform that was huge. It was a big fight night. And he used his time, not like Conor McGregor. And I know Nelly will have some interesting points here because he absolutely follows UFC. So it was interesting how like Conor McGregor comes out and goes, yeah, fuck you, I'm going to kill the next guy. You ain't shit. Take down Conor McGregor's never going to happen. And then, really aggressive, using it to hype the crowd up. He came out and fucking cried and said, there's not enough fucking support for mental health. And when you look back and you see Paddy Pimblett, who's, become social media sensation, he's coming through the ranks in UFC. And then you've got Tyson Fury, who was sat in his Ferrari, and the opening scene to his autobiography is, I was driving down the motorway and all I was in my Ferrari thinking, I just want to kill myself. And he had millions in the bank. So you think to yourself, those two people are using their platform for absolute positivity for men, and to sit there and watch this guy come out and the first thing he says is he's lost mates to suicide and uses his platform to speak up. It is absolutely phenomenal for men.
I totally agree, mate. What do you think, Nelster?
So I had to mute myself because I had crunchy toes in it as I'm walking through the river. So, I completely agree, man. I think if you're going to use that platform for any reason that's going to be positive, then he smashed it out of the park. He absolutely nailed it. And there was millions of people listening, probably people that are in denial about the fact they need someone to chat to. And yeah, I was really humbled by it, to be fair, mate. I watched the fight tonight. I teared up a little bit, mate, because you could see the emotion. It wasn't just that. There's a little boy that had passed away as well, and you could.
Yeah, of course.
These people, they're normal people. They're just like us, mate, but they get to go on telly, and I found it super humbling for someone who struggles themselves from most day to day. I found that, well, the best way is to talk, and often as a man, you think that's not fucking shut up. Talk.
Yeah, but do you know what, mate? I think that you're breaking up a little bit. Sorry, Nelly, you're breaking up a bit. Is that?
He's just the new Conor, isn't he? Just he's not a knob.
Yeah, and do you know what? The thing for me, like you said, is that he's a young guy that's talking about it, and I can't emphasize the young guy talking about it because it's. Although you can look at it as a double-edged sword, young guys do inherently talk about their feelings a little bit more. And I know that there's a little bit of an issue at the moment with the generations, and they think that there's no masculinity in the generation that are talking about their feelings. And I don't know. I mean, that's another topic on its own, really. I mean, we all talk about how the fact if we don't open up and talk, are we being less masculine? Yet all of us are in agreement that this young lad, who is clearly masculine in that sense that he's a fighter, he's a brawler, he submits people, he tries to strangle them, goes in for blood, and at the end of that, he talks about mental health. So how can you say he's not masculine? So it kind of like smashes that straight out the water that we do need to open talk about it. I mean, I'm a very open person with my mental health, and sometimes to my own detriment. I probably agree. I don't try to be too needy, and I know that's sort of inherently how it comes across, but I do talk quite openly, and I think it's built a lot of friendships. I mean, especially like I said, Billy, we met through, and the same as Nelly, we both met through me talking openly about my mental health.
Yeah, we did, mate. We did.
So it's kind of,
I met you ages ago, James. I met you years ago.
I know, but I mean, like, yeah,
I know what you're saying.
We re-engaged. Yeah, we re-engaged through that side of things, So it's kind of like, it's what? Sorry, mate.
I said totally, mate. That was the catalyst to us hooking up again for sure.
Yeah, definitely, mate. Definitely. So it's kind of makes sense, you know, and that's like Billy. I mean, I absolutely agree with, you know, you spreading the word there, mate. It was really important, and it's like, you know, we touched on. I mean, I'm actually impressed by the fact that, you know, the way that you look at this podcast as well. I feel it's you know, we were chatting earlier on, and you point people into the direction of me talking. So, you know, we were looking on the map earlier, and we were saying that people have downloaded it in a local area, and it was nice to see that that had been done, and that's through your support. And like you said, it doesn't matter how many downloads you get if you just help that one person and to sit there and change their mind and maybe make their day. Is that not the most important aspect? Not whether I look good, not whether I sound good, not whether, you know, this conversation flows. That the main point is to get across to people to go, let's be open and honest.
Oh, Billy's tired.
No, mate.
Billy's
Sorry,
tired.
I'm sorry, mate. I'm just I'm doing something.
Well, you're yawning, bruv.
No. That was just a breathe in, mate.
Oh,
no,
sucking on a crack pipe.
I am, mate. Yeah, a little grape flavour. I said to you earlier, mate. Like I joined the new scuba diving club only last week, and you know, there was a couple of new people, same as me, that was there, and I just offered them a lift. I said, you know, because of where the pool is and where the club is, sort of like separate, and I have the listen to the podcast whether I'm in the car or if I'm just doing some like DIY or stuff around home. I put my headphones on and whatever. Anyway, it was connected up to my car radio. The phone was, so I offered this guy a lift, and it just automatically comes on. And the guy said to me, he said, "Oh, you know, what's that you're listening to?" And I said, "Oh, it's just a podcast about men's mental health and getting men to talk to each other and sort of like open up and stuff like that." And he instantly he went, oh really? And I went, yeah, mate, yeah. And he sort of like, I think he asked what it was called and whatever, and I told him what it was called, and I think he sort of like wrote it down in his phone. But it was this week, so I went last night as well, and I was chatting to the same guy again, and he was just, you know, telling me a bit of his backstory of, you know, stuff that's happened in the past and that, and I think, yeah, again, you know, this spreading the word and, you know, letting people know that this podcast's out there and that blokes can, you know, there's no stigma when you're talking to someone who understands. Do you know what I mean?
Yeah, definitely.
So hopefully, and that's what I was saying to you. I said, "Oh, can you check in my area that I've moved to if there's any downloads?" But unfortunately, it don't go into that much detail, does it?
It's a shame, mate. Really sorry, Nelly. I just noticed you've got a little thing on your. Have you muted yourself?
He's muted himself because he's crunching along on the riverbank, isn't he?
Oh, is that what he's done? He's got a little thing on his thing, mate. And do you know what, mate? I said in my last podcast how like inspirational that you've been, and it's not picking you up in this sense. I'm not trying to give you a massive head or anything like that. For me personally, Nelly's ended the call. Oh, he's gone. Oh, okay. Nelly joined.
He's back in.
He's back in. Is he in? Oh, here we go. Is he back in? Yay!
He's on.
Yeah, so, and I was saying, mate, that it's like, this is all encompassed in being open, being honest, talking, and like listening as well. I think the key part for me is listening to people. As much as I love talking about myself, and I have been told I love the sound of my own voice.
Oh, yes, you do, boy.
I know, but do you know what I mean? I don't try to spout shit though. I try to do things. I know I do spout shit most of the time, but I do like the sound of my voice. But you know, for me, I try to be as positive as possible, because I think for me personally, I like to reward people. I like to say thank you, and I like to acknowledge when people around me are doing great things. And inherently, like I said, you went into running. You were you were going off to bingo, you were fucking scuba diving, you do your shooting, all these things that you do. I'm just like, fucking, that's absolutely amazing. And that's what I think is really important and this is why I say it's so important to be encased around and supported by the right type of people, because it's like I messaged a couple of people just to give you just to give you a little bit of a feedback on not on this specific conversations, but to give you feedback on something that has made me think a little bit deeper. And you know how, like, so I only really talk to basically on a daily basis is yourself, Nelly, and Kieran. They're the three people I talk to, and I do try to talk to my brother as much as I can as well. But inherently, you're the three people I talk to daily as much as I can. When I stepped out of that comfort zone, and I did, no, I don't really talk to my dad either, mate. To be fair, I'm going. Do you know what? I'm going to speak to my dad. I'm going to spend the day with my dad tomorrow, and I'm super happy about it because I'm going up to work. I've got quite a bit of work to do, but I'm just going to go and sit in the office, have a couple of biscuits and a cup of tea because I know it'll make his day. So that's kind of the way. But we don't. My dad's not a phone person. He don't really like talking too much on the phone. He's more of a face-to-face, have a beer type of thing. You know.
Is that where you get it from? Then is it?
Absolutely, mate. I don't really like it. Is, mate. I don't like the phone. You're just fucking digging me again, aren't you? That's
because we all know it's true, James.
On Skype.
We all know it's true. Oh, shall I give James a ring? Well, I probably won't answer.
Yeah, I bet text him 3 hours before.
Mate, but the thing, I just fucking hate talking on the phone. Do you know why? And I'm not going to lie to you. I do find it really hard, and I get quite bored quite easy. Now, I don't mean that is in the context of the conversation, and this is where let me explain. I know I like the sound of my own voice, but I do get to the point where I get a bit fucking bored, and I don't like being bored because I'm talking to somebody that I want to talk to, but my mind goes a wander. But when I see people face to face, you have my undivided attention, and I get to bounce off of you. Do you know what I mean? Not literally, not sexually. Don't get excited, Nelly.
I already am.
But I
already am.
But I do get to talk, mate. And do you know what? I took myself out of my back to, like I said, it's building those friendships are really important. Having the right people around you that you can talk to. Everybody's around me's got a different dynamic that I enjoy. And one of the things I did was I reached out in my comfort zone, messaged a couple of people randomly, and I was amazed at how much their responses, like I had someone message me earlier on saying they were stuck at the airport and they were like, oh, I'm absolutely fucking shattered, all this, I can't stand this. Like, it was all negative context, not the fact that, the person was excited that they'd got home and they were finally home, but they were pissed off because of everything else. And I messaged them saying, why are you so negative? Oh, I'm not negative. I'm like, you are. Everything in your message is negative. So it's kind of like, and it's almost like if I started doing that with you guys, messaging you going, I'm fucking, it's fucking, but, and you kept doing that on and on, that's when you get into the point where I draw back to that little joke I said, where if you told the same joke fucking 4 times, would you still be laughing? Some jokes we probably would if we were sick men, but, but at the same time, you wouldn't want to, you don't inherently laugh about it. So why would you say the same story? You've got to make a change, haven't you?
But to flip that on its head, that in a way, that is a little bit contradictory to kind of what this is about, which is when people that might be a reach out to, I'm really struggling at the moment, and it might just be a different way that they say it, rather than what would be really helpful is if you phoned me up and said, Neil, fucking hell, I've had a really shit day, can I have a quick chinwag about it or whatever. Like that particular instance itself, you don't need to phone me to say you've had a shit day, but like maybe that's their way of communicating that they're struggling, in it. Do you know what I mean? Maybe,
absolutely. I don't know. No, absolutely, mate. And do you know what? I'm glad you said that, because that's the other side of the view. But from me personally, the only way that I can caveat and kind of defend that a little bit is provided you don't keep saying the same thing over and over to something that you can change, and if you've been offered advice to do it. So it's like, for instance, you, Nelly, how many times have we come to a collaboration of your future and we've absolutely nailed it on the head? Now, if we hadn't have been talking about that, you probably would have procrastinated over that for a lot longer, wouldn't you? But we talk about it daily. We get you through it, and we help you, support you. That's the level, because I know that you struggle with the same challenges I do. And I think that's where the relation comes in. And I go, absolutely, I'll listen to you all day. But I know for a fact that you are making the difference. Do you see what I mean? You are making the change.
and I don't disagree. I definitely don't disagree. But I also think that there's a massive element in the people that you text. Maybe you text that you're talking about in particular hasn't put in 7 months worth of effort as a friend with you. So there are more allowances, aren't there, for people that you give a fuck about and people that you just know, like people that are stuck at the fucking airport or whatever their story is. I don't disagree with you. Like, cut negativity out. Fucking hell, it's massively helped me. I'll tell you, like the people that I used to not even hang around with, but just look on Facebook or like have around my house sometimes because it was the wife's friend or whatnot. Not interested. Done. You're a cock. And yeah, that's game changing, bro. Because positivity breeds positivity. It's like it is what it is.
Exactly. Your views, Bill. You've been quiet there, mate. Come on.
I'm biding my time. So I've been calculating my answer here.
Waiting for a gap.
Oh, so here we go. So I need to take a fucking seat.
Listen, so I'm with both of you on this one, right? So with Nelly, he's hit the nail on the head there, mate. Sometimes people are moaning because they need that release, and that's the only way that they know how to get out. And sometimes it is a call for help. It's like, fucking hell, this is going wrong in my life. This is going wrong in my life. And what they want is someone to go, hey, mate, I can help you with that. I can attempt to give you a solution. I can give you a couple of, tips of how to make it better. But at the same time, Jim, I agree with you as well, mate. There does come to some, it gets to a particular point. If someone is constantly going on and on, negative all the bloody time, and there's not a positive, because what we like to see as humans, we like to see, like, if there's a problem, then eventually the person will do something about that problem, or someone has helped them with that problem, and then you get the positive at the end of it. But when someone is constantly going on, and you want to say to them, what the fuck are you doing about it, mate? What the fuck are you actually doing about it? Or if you want my fucking help, I'm here for you. All you've got to do is ask, mate. I can't mind read. But when we're talking about people talking and all these negative messages and that, I'll tell you what I find the worst, right?
Go on.
The double blue tick.
Oh, fuck me, that absolutely. I had to turn it off because it cripples me.
The double blue tick, mate. When you message someone and you're like, hey, dude, how's it going? Hey, listen, and you say something, or you ask them a question and that, right? And it double ticks, and then you see a double blue tick. You know they've seen it, you know they've read it, but no response. That fucking gets to me, because it's so like,
I've got like,
mate.
So, Nelly's gone. Is Nelly gone?
He's not gone again.
I'm not gone. My phone's a twat.
Oh, right. Okay. You kind of, you've all got feedback, mate. Whatever your phone's doing.
Yeah.
I'm here myself.
I'm on it. I'm in the middle of the woods, mate, sweating, trying to sort my headphones out and being a douche, mate.
I know what you're going to say.
I had to control myself then. Right. I can shout at myself now. Can you hear me?
I can hear you.
I can hear you.
Now, mate. So what happened then?
I can hear you walking.
Right. Well, like, if we talk about life shit, mate, I'm in the middle of doing this with you guys, and the wife FaceTimes me. Any chance you could grab some Pepsi Max on the way home?
So
yeah, anyway, I'll grab some Pepsi Max, mate. Carry on.
Before I lose my train of thought, right? So I've got a double-edged sword there. So I've got. I love the fact that you've done it again, Nelly. I think, mate.
I haven't.
Oh no, it's not. It's just because we can hear your footprints, mate.
Oh, mate, I'm trying to find. I'm literally walking down this like really stony thing, and there's a bit of grass every now and again. And I'm walking in this fucking. I'm gonna get ticks and all sorts. I can tell. And like, I'm walking in this long grass just to not make noise, mate. Just to not make noise. I won't walk in the river. It'll be quieter. Do you know what I mean? These things are fucking brutal.
So maybe go for a swim. So I have a little bit of a story then, and this is where I'm going to play a little bit of a real life scenario. Now you know who I am. Now
hang on, are we going on about the blue ticks now? We got, have we addressed this situation?
It's gonna.
I missed that.
From the first, I'm going to go from the first story into the blue ticks. Okay. So I'm going to go to answer my question, and I want you to answer the question, knowing me, right? So I
is this like timed? Is this timed?
Yeah.
Are we like? Is there a buzzer?
Have we got a buzz in?
No, you got a buzz.
Is it me versus Billy?
Yeah, you versus Billy. No, so you both had your opinions, and I get them, and we're all in agreement that there's a double-edged sword on this one. However, so I moaned, and I mean I pissed and moaned for 9.5 years about my mental health, and fucking didn't deal with it for mental health. I told everybody I had depression almost fucking daily. I said I wasn't fucking right. I was on medication. I was seeing a fucking psychiatrist. Everybody fucking around me knew I had depression. But two things. Not one person asked me or gave me advice. Not one person in all of that 9.5 years, from talking to full-grown adults, i.e. my parents, right down to family, close family and young people. So I pissed and moaned for 9.5 years. The only time I've made a difference is when I stopped. I fucking had enough. I'd reached the peak last year. We're not going to go over that again. And then I went, I'm going to fucking sort myself out. So I sorted myself out. And then in this journey, I've looked to help other people out. So what would you have done if I'd have said to you, bearing in mind, I've got a friend that did listen to that for 9.5 years and worked alongside me, and that was Kieran. And Kieran put up with that for 9.5 years. What is the length of time that you will listen to somebody before saying, I need to fucking help them or shut up?
Bill, can I go first? Can I go? Oh,
Bill's still in, mate. Bill's still in.
I've just buzzed in, mate. So, now, this is the thing, mate. Before I met you, right? Before I met you, it probably would have been 9.5 years, mate. I would have just cracked on. I would, right. Because I never sort of like, I never explored the whole mental health journey. I never met someone who has had, the issues that me and you have spoke about, and all of the listening to the stuff that's helped you and stuff like that. I never even thought about it, mate. Right? I just thought, ultimately, it's someone else's problem, someone with a lot more intelligence than me, someone who's got some form of doctorate in, analysis and how human brain functions and stuff like that. Do you know what I mean? Someone who has just been experienced and that's their job, etc. But after that one day, mate, and I'll never forget it, that day that you come up to my office. Yeah. It was a good few hours, but after that one day, mate, I sort of like started looking into it and going, fucking hell. And I remember, when we finished our conversation, we said, hey, mate, we'll have to meet up for a beer and what have you. And then we eventually, you come around my house and we had that fucking mental night on the Dragon Soup, what have you. But every time, and this is Jen, every time near enough that we've talked and sat down and met up with each other and all that stuff, mate, it's just like a weight lifted off my shoulders sometimes, you know what I mean? And I think that no matter who you are out there, right, you should if someone's got a problem or an issue and you can clearly see that and hear it, then you should just offer whatever you can. You should just give that offer like, hey, mate, well, listen, let's just go and, should we go and sit down? Do you want to come back to the office? We just have a chat and stuff like that. That's all you need to do, mate, because sometimes that's all it takes. And this new job role that I'm in now is eye-opening, mate. Eye-opening that sometimes just a 10, 15, 20, whatever long it takes, a little chat, it just has impact, massive impact on people's lives.
So would you have done that? Would you do that now if you hadn't have spoken to me?
I don't know if I would have, mate, purely because I wouldn't have known how to. And I think that I probably would have avoided it because of the reasons I just said there. Gone, oh, do you know what? If he's going to a psychiatrist, or his other mates will be able to help him out because they know him a lot better than me, and I probably would have avoided it, mate.
So and that's come about, and that's not saying would you have done that because of me, as in like look at me, I'm the fucking god. No, what I mean is by being open and honest about my mental health, it created a conversation with you that has sparked your interest in mental health, that has got you looking after other people, and we've now got a chain reaction.
Yeah, agreed.
So, and you're now in a position where you do this on a daily basis and you fucking love it. Like I do. I don't even do it for my job, but I fucking love helping people. Anyway, Nelly, what's your view? Come on.
Nels to go.
Something happened with my 4G while I was down the river, so I've actually got no idea what Billy said, but I will listen back to it afterwards. Just before I start, I love listening to you talk, Billy. You make a lot of sense, and your sentences always flow nicely, which is a good qualifying thing for being on an audio platform.
He's a trainer, mate.
For me, when the question was, how long do you keep going for? And again, it depends on the initial question.
No, the question was. So the question was, if you know me and you know who I am now, if you'd have had to listen to me for 9.5 years, like Kieran did, and like other people around me had to do for 9.5 years, till I made that conscious decision to be open, honest, and fucking sort myself, would you have listened to me for 9.5 years or told me to shut up?
So it completely depends on the relationship we have. For me, it depends on the relationship we had. If we weren't really, really close mates, then I probably would have found it quite pagging and quite like draining. A bit of a fun sponge, I suppose is the best way of describing it. But in that same vein, I've had and do still have friends that struggle with their mental health that I know, that like tight friends that went to school with, a bit like you and Kieran, isn't it? Do you know what I mean? There's people that
I know who you're talking about.
My best mate lives in Italy. The geezer that was my best man at my wedding, Kane, I hardly ever speak to him, but when I do, it's like his best mates, and I'll do anything for him. Do you know what I mean? So if we were really tight mates, then I'll fucking never give up. Why would you give up on a mate? Fuck's sake, never. No, not at all, mate. That's not what friendship's about for me. You don't give up on people regardless of what's going on.
Exactly, and that's where I think there's a differentiating line, as in, like, if you talk to someone daily, you'll endure it to a point, but you will try your hardest to support them. And I think that's like I pretty much like we all do to each other. Some sort of way we'll support each other. How many times has Billy sat there? I think it was one of the podcasts I did, and I was like fucking pissing and moaning. It was a time where I had a really, really, really bad time. And luckily the podcast didn't record. It did record actually, but it's not gone live. I didn't put it on live because it was a very negative, horrible place. But there was a snippet in the next one, and Billy straight away rung me up and was like, I didn't answer the first time or the third time, but the fifth time.
Oh, there's a surprise.
The fifth time, when he persevered,
he mugged himself off.
when he rang me the fifth time, I was like, "What's up, mate?" And he went, "I can't fucking sit here and listen to you talk like you haven't got someone to talk to, because I'm here whenever you want."
Yeah,
and I couldn't even get through the podcast, mate. I literally got about 20 minutes into it, and I went, "There's something's not right."
Yeah,
and that shows a good mate. That shows a good friend, isn't it? That shows a good friend.
Yeah, absolutely. And I'm surrounded by. I know for a fact that when I listen to you, Billy, you're the same, and I can tell you're in a shit place. I listen to Nelly in the morning, and he is so fucking chirpy in the morning that it's so easy to say you're not fucking right. And the same with Kieran. Yeah. When you're close to people. And Kieran is like, you can tell Kieran, he's a bit sluggish, and he leaves a similar type of length message. But when it's about half the time, I go, he's not right. And that is the relationship that you need to try and nurture by being open and looking after each other. And I don't think, me personally, I think that we're very valued to have that. Not everybody has that luxury.
Yeah, well, I'm still quite flabbergasted that I'm not added to this bloody WhatsApp group, and all I keep hearing about is how all these positive messages come through and you guys are cracking on. Oh, this is fantastic. And I'm sat there in the morning on the crapper, and I ain't getting no messages. I do get an individual message.
You get a personal message, mate. So that's like, I'll tell you what I'll do then. I will invite you into our little positive vibe. It's a little morning message, mate. We just say hello to each other. It's nice, and we literally, it's just about acknowledging the morning and we have a bit of a laugh. Nelly normally does a little video where he does a bit of parkour in the morning some days. Kieran always sounds fucking overly excited. And I just bring a load of shit to the fucking party. So,
no, don't treat me like a charity case, mate. I don't want to be no charity case. Let's give him the token invite. Come on. He's earned his way in now.
I didn't think, mate, every time I've messaged you in the morning, you've taken about 3 hours to get out of fucking bed.
Sometimes I like to just give you the thumbs up just to know that I've listened to it. But if I start recording myself, all you'll hear is...
But then the thing is, mate, like I say, is Nelly joined? Nelly's signal keeps dropping in and out. I think he's got a bit of a problem with his signal. He's already in, but he's coming back in. And I think that personally, I think that is being absolutely like, it's phenomenal to nurture it, but it's also at the same time understanding from my point of view. It's understanding what some people aren't morning people. Like if you talk to my brother and I message him in the morning, he will not fucking message until the afternoon. Fuck you now, Nelly, you flying?
Mate, I don't know. This is proper annoying. I'm staying in my garage next time I'm fucking doing a live. This is crazy.
Fucking all over it, mate. But I think that's the beauty of being that's the beauty of being nurtured and nurturing what's around you. And like I said, you know, you've seen that frustration. You can hear it in my voice and go, he isn't the normal fucking chirpy self, or he isn't his normal self. And straight away you're on the blow giving me shit, going fucking, mate, I don't like the fact that you say you haven't got someone to talk to. The same as Nelly. Nelly did the same. Like, you know, when he heard it, he was like, fuck off. You can just talk to me whenever. Kieran was like, you can fucking talk to me whenever. And I had to look at it from my perspective. That's really heartwarming, but you need that to be shoved down your throat, because for 9.5 years, I didn't have that. I didn't have that luxury of having someone that I knew was going to be there. And I think that was the problem with not being open and honest about yourself and supporting each other. Because let's face it, mental health services are stretched over capacity at the moment. So the only way we can fucking do it is by looking after each other.
Yeah, definitely, man, definitely. And this is the thing. We go back to your previous question about, you know, how long would you take? And you bitched and moaned for like 9.5 years, right? You made the conscious decision after realising to ditch all those people who actually didn't give a fuck about you, right? Kieran was there the whole way through, and I think he kept you on the straight and narrow. Do you know what I mean? He kept you on the straight and narrow. You know, absolutely. Nelly's come along back into the frame. I think probably about roughly same time as me. I think, or maybe earlier than that. But you know, you've realised that in 9.5 years, you had all of these Facebook friends, you had all of these other people, but they didn't get it. But then now you've found these certain people that they get it, mate. They understand. They give a fuck, mate. That's the thing, isn't it?
Yeah, and do you know what? Nelly's fucking listening. I'm listening to the motorway and Nelly's fucking in Nelly's mic.
Mate, they're decent headphones, man.
You're waiting for a space shuttle to take.
Mate, I've literally just hit Castle Lane, mate, in Bournemouth, mate. And yeah, there's a fucking boy racer going past at 75 miles an hour. And yeah, you're gonna have to hear every car for a minute. But sorry, I'll mute myself while I'm not talking. That's
all right, mate. And do you know what, mate? Sorry, what did we say? I can't remember. What did we say there? I was miles away.
It said that you've finally got this fucking.
That's a good call. Crack on. I'm listening. It's interesting.
And the thing is, for me, is that was the conscious decision I took. Was I removed almost 400 fucking people from Facebook that I thought knew me, thought that I've met, chatted to. Obviously, no, not all 400 would have been fucking close friends. But when I whittled it down to literally the only fucking friend I had at the time on Facebook was before you and Nelly time, was Kieran, and I've done it before. And I went, he's been there for 28 fucking years, and he's stood by me listening to my shit for 28 fucking years. And he came around on Friday, and even he said, mate, I've never seen you so fucking content. And I went, I feel content. I said, I'm surrounded by limited amount of people that I know give a fuck about me, that I know care about me, that I know can see the signs when I'm not right. I'm, like I said, I'm planning to come over to fucking Ireland, mate. I would never have fucking done that for you know, I would have, I mean, Christ, I can't even pick the phone up 9 times out of 10.
Oh, yeah. What, going on holiday, are you? Going on holiday?
Yeah, going on holiday. Yeah, I'm going on holiday. Sorry, mate. So I'm going over to, sorry, not Thingy, Wales, mate. I was miles away there.
Oh, well, Wales, is it? Yeah.
So I was miles away. And then we're meeting up there. I've gone to Bournemouth and fucking close to that with Nelly. And these are all things that I never would have fucking thought about. Do you know what I mean?
Yeah.
Yeah.
Yeah. Honestly, no, mate. I mean, it's just, it's. I know I need to make that step, mate. I need to make that step as well. I need to have a big purge because there's people on my Facebook and my bloody social media and stuff like that I just go, oh, fucking shut up. Just fucking shut up. You are absolutely having no worth in my life at all. And I don't even know why. I don't even know why.
Fucking hell, Nelly.
There we go.
The
space shuttle Atlantis has just lifted.
No, but the thing is like you say, talking to you, mate, and like you say, I wouldn't even walk. I struggle to go to, was it, you know, the pub that I struggled to go to the pub when you guys, and I had loads of anxiety. I never would have thought about fucking going on holiday. I never would have thought about going to fucking Bournemouth. I never would have thought about going, you know, my bike, you know, I put that off for fucking years. These are all things that I've all changed because I've been surrounded by the right people. Because why do I want to go and make the effort? And I used to get invited to go up to fucking, you know, up north and all that sort of stuff. They were like, come up north, mate. And I was like, yeah. And we never did. And we promised each other for fucking years because I don't class them as fucking true friends.
Yeah, I know, mate. But the thing is as well, if we then, you know, put the shoe on the other foot there.
Yeah.
You ain't never going to meet these worthwhile people if you don't take them steps occasionally. Do you know what I mean?
Yeah, no, absolutely, mate. And do you know what? I can play double-edged sword on that because, let's be honest, I met you through work, as in just talking, walking into your office, you know, and look where our fucking friendship's grown in a small space of time, you know. And I know, I hear what you're saying, and you have to break the norm. I think the pandemic's absolutely fucked a lot of people over. But for me personally, I think that's a sticking point for mental health is getting them to break the barrier. And I think you have to break down certain things before you get to that point. I'm in a better place now, so I can go and do things, but I still get a bit of anxiety about it. Not as much as I would say I used to, because I'm not going to see people that I wouldn't want to see. Whereas before I used to get a bit stressed out with going to see people. Now I just go, it's not an interest to me, mate. I'm not really fucking bothered. Whereas when you've got people around you, you genuinely want to make the effort for, it helps.
Mate, and I think you've come leaps and bounds, mate. And that time that you come round my house, right? Let's think back to it. Do you think we would be as good mates now, do you reckon, if we didn't have that, you know, that booze sesh round my house?
Oh, I don't know if we would. Absolutely, we wouldn't have done. No, I guarantee.
And you said about, I don't know, about 2 or 3 hours into it, you said, my wife said to me, "Are you actually going?" And you went, "Yeah." And she went, "Oh, that's just like really weird. Normally you wouldn't never go." But you took that step, mate, that one step, and you went, I'm going to go round there. I'm going to go round there. And then we got so boozed up, you phoned her up and went, "Hey, listen, I'm going to kip here tonight because we're well on it." And she went, "What? You never done that?"
I know. And do you know what, mate? She even said, she was like, next morning, she was like, fucking hell, mate, you, because she saw the morning where I was umming and ahhing, and I turned up, I think I was 15 minutes late, wasn't I?
Only about 2 or 3 minutes late, I think, maybe.
Yeah, 2 or 3 minutes late. Fuck all, really. And when I turned up almost 2 hours late, I literally turned around and said, it's because I was battling. And my missus was like, just fucking go. She's like, you know, you've got common ground. You won't be sat there. She even said to me, do you think you'll be sat in a room in an awkward silence? And I went, Well, no. I said it's fucking. You know, we've just got banter coming out all over us. You know what I mean? I know that I've got that in common. To have a laugh.
Yeah. So that was my ringtone. I've obviously got a message there. That was Michael Jackson saying, "Who's bad?"
Oh, and yeah, I wouldn't have made that. But what I will say is exactly, and I'll reiterate what you said there was, you know, when we were fucking 2 cans deep in fucking in dragon soup, and we were completely trolleyed. And if anyone's listening and hasn't tried dragon soup, fucking try it, because you'll only try it once, unless you're. I had a fucking 2-week hangover. And for me personally, I think that just doing that, and then, you know, the banter that came out of that one night has lasted, 9 fucking months, mate. Do you know what I mean? Because, you know, like, you called me a piece of shit for about fucking 4 hours. And but I think that for me personally, that's the part that I enjoyed, was like, I took that step. And I will say that if you're stuck in that situation and you're listening to this going, well, yeah, that's kind of me, then you've got to make that step, as fucking Bill's just said there. You've got to make that fucking step to want to change, so that every time it changes for a positive reason, you hold on to the positive reason, which reinforces it every time, because you've got a good memory. So I know for a fact that when I've done things with Nelly, we went down the fucking beach and he turned up with the best fucking bacon sandwiches and a cup of tea as we were swimming in the sea.
Nelly the Batman.
Nelly the fucking Batman. Oi, oi. But I've got that as a memory. So I didn't take fucking photos, videos, or I don't look back on videos. I just look back at that in the back of my mind. When I'm doing my reflection walks in an evening, I think about the good fucking times that I've had. And I think about, like, oh yeah, Nelly's done that. Or, you know, we did that with Billy. That was fucking amazing. I had a fucking 5-day hangover, you know. And it's, even when I met fucking Stefan, you know, and he knew you, and it was kind of like I chucked myself in the deep end to see an old friend and met someone else that I talk to now. Do you know what I mean? So it does, but you've got to be reinforced with positivity to make sure you want to do it again. If I'd have turned up to your house and it was a fucking nightmare, and we were sat in awkward silence watching a fucking, you know, watching a fucking shit movie, and I was thinking, this is a waste of fucking time, do you think we'd still be here now?
I don't know. I don't think so. Well, I don't know, mate. I don't know.
Well, no, because like you said, rightly so, we didn't really sort of kind of, we clicked in the sense we had a lot in common. And, you know, for me personally, that was the fucking amazing bit. But that could have, if that night hadn't happened in the shoot and we were just fucking chilling out, I don't think it would have been as good as it is now. I think it would have just been the odd text, how you getting on? Do you know what I mean? Or what you up to, mate? It wouldn't have been as open and fucking talkative as we are now. I genuinely don't think so. Or you disagreeing with me? Or you just ignoring me?
Sounds like he's disagreeing, Jim.
He's mooted. He's fucked me off, mate. See, look, he's chinned me off straight on my own body.
He's gone for a shit.
And the same as you, mate. Like you say, you know, we've got that, you know, and I'll chuck that straight across to you, Nelly. Then, you know, exactly the same as you need that positive reinforcement, don't you? Which is what I get from the right people. You have that positive reinforcement of a positive occasion. And I
didn't mean to mute you, boys. I've got fat thumbs here, and I pressed mute. I was trying to type.
It's all right, mate. Don't worry.
I was going to say there, mate. So I was trying to say, I started talking for about 5 minutes and realised why you hadn't stopped talking. But I was going to say, listen, no matter how much of a positive that we had, and people are definitely going to have positives from taking that step and you know, experiencing something, you're still going to get the negatives, man, and it shouldn't be such a drop back to make you stop. For instance, when you went to Cardiff, was it?
Yes.
You had a bit of a nightmare, mate, at certain stages.
Oh, yeah, I had a proper fucking nightmare in Cardiff. I went down to there, mate, and I had anxiety. I fucking fell out with, you know, it was kind of like I was chucked in a fucking room. The first night I was so overwhelmed. My senses were so overwhelmed because everyone was being loud. The music was loud. I actually fucking sacked the night off early and went to bed at like 11 o'clock when everyone was fucking partying, because I was like, this is too much for me. I've at least I'm here. At least I'm fucking safe. I've got a good bed. I've seen where I'm staying. Fucking happy days. So I just went to bed, because you've got to take baby steps, especially if you're trying to undo so much negativity. That's, like I said, this has been enduring. I've been enduring this for 9 years, 10 years, just over 10 years. So if you've got mental health problems, you may have only suffered it for 6 months. You may have suffered it from, I know people that have had mental health problems, depression constantly for 20 odd fucking years, because they've never dealt with it. They've never spoke about it. It's like my old man, I absolutely fucking know through some of the stories that he's told me when he was, a youngish fucking lad, that he turned around, and some of the stuff he'd done, I was like taken back. I said to him, Dad, if you'd fucking told me that now, in today's modern society, I would absolutely tell you to go to a fucking therapist, mate, because you are borderline fucking depressant and stressed. But that was kind of the way that we're dealing with it now. We're being more open and honest about it.
Yeah, and if you're gonna have your successes, and you're gonna have your unsuccessful moments as well. But guess what? If you take 10 steps forward and it puts you 9 steps back, guess what? You're still ahead of where you started in the first place.
Exactly. And it's like that little scenario that I live by this fucking little scenario. I heard it a few years ago. I talk about it all the time. It's if you're going up a set of steps and the set of steps are foggy and you can only see the one step in front of you, just take that one step and then keep taking that one step until you can fucking clear the road and it all opens up. Try to take those baby steps. Don't try and fucking run before you can walk, because we've done that, and I've done that. I've gone into, thinking, oh, I'm gonna go and do this, and I get all excited, like for you, I went shooting with you. I came back, mate. I was looking at fucking guns. I was like, I'm getting a fucking gun. I was like, actually, slow your fucking roll, mate. Do it a couple of times to see if you're any good, and then look into how much it's going to cost. Are you going to stress yourself out with price? And that's the kind of way that sometimes with mental health, you can run before you can walk, and you can have a great time and not realize, because it's easy to forget, because we all hold on to endorphins. When you get excited, it releases endorphins and serotonin, and you think, fucking hell, I feel amazing, I want to do this again. But the next time it might be shit, which can either drag you the fuck down, or you can look at it and say, lessons learned, that was a bad time. Why was it a bad time? Oh, it was a bad time because the weather was shit, or it was a bad time because such and such didn't turn up and I have a really good time with him. It was a bad time because I was skint, or whatever. You just got to analyze it to make sure that you can look at why it was a bad time, to make sure that, you give it another go.
Nelster, thoughts,
Nelster.
I had to mute myself. No, I didn't. I had to mute myself, so I've just got home, and so I'm sitting in the garden. So I missed quite a bit of that because it's a stupid signal. I'm back home now with my Wi-Fi. My thoughts are, your journey was a 9-year journey until you were ready to get some help. Mine was around about an 18 and a half, maybe 19-year journey before I was ready to ask for some help. So I think you just have to. No one can make anyone look for help. You've got to look for it. So you've got to want to look for it. That's kind of my outlook on, like, just when you're able to change things is when you're strong enough. When you've maybe got the right people around you. Maybe when you just had enough of being sad or having nightmares or whatever it is that's going on with you.
Oh, mate, absolutely. And I think that with your case, for instance, we spoke, didn't we, early this year, and I was like doing this, and you fucking listened to my podcast, and you were fucking like all over it, and then straight away you were like, I'm going to make the fucking change, because absolutely right, I need to make the change. You came up to me and was like, I'm making the fucking change, I've done this and this, and I was like, mate, that is fucking amazing. And I think that genuinely that's because you were surrounded by the right things at the right time. The same as me. Absolutely. If I hadn't have been surrounded by the 3 fucking people, or the 5 people, should I say, my brother and my dad as well, the male aspects of my life that look and support for me. If I hadn't have had you lot around me, I don't think I would have had the strength to endure it and manage it for this 8 months that I've managed it, and at the same time do a podcast, start a TikTok, and fucking, you know, and do my job and learn. I wouldn't have had the strength to do that if I didn't feel I had the genuine support from valid, valued friends around me.
It definitely makes a huge difference. 100%. It makes the world of difference to have people that or you just give a shit, want to listen. Yeah, for me, it's made a huge difference. I've been to the doctors; they sent me for counselling. I've got some good tips on how to maybe deal with some of the demons that were going on, and yeah, I'm a much more positive person.
Well, look at you, mate. You're making changes as well. You know, and I know that you know that your own personal changes, but you're making those changes. You've got the strength in this last 8 months to make changes.
Yeah,
the same as Billster. You know, he's had the changes because of conversations that's drawn him into his new side of things, his new profession. And that's kind of that's where I think that this, I'm talking about the skipping stone effect or the knock-on effect, whatever you want to call it, the chain reaction. If you, every time you help someone, that person helps someone, and it keeps doing it. And if you think to yourself, if you guys help me and I help you, then automatically, if we all added one person to our little group, that's 12 people. If those 12 people all added one person, that's 20. You know, that's 24, isn't it? Do you see what I mean? It doubles and trebles every single time if these people keep doing it and we keep talking and saying. There's a fine line. I get there's a fine line between, you know, moaning and bitching and saying fucking hell, you know, I need help and everything. But there's a fine line between bitching and moaning and actually doing something, being positive about it. And I think that this is the positivity side. As Nelly opens his door and Billster goes completely quiet and chins me off.
Where is Billy? Where's Billy gone?
I'm just conscious that I'm sort of like chatting all the time. I want to hear Nelster's points.
I'm trying to pour myself a drink without getting caught.
So not only has he's come on the podcast, he's been walking in the crunchiest field of acorns in the world, next to the space shuttle launch.
He's been walking through fucking What's It farm.
Yeah. And now he's trying to start up the DeLorean to go back to 1986.
On this podcast.
He's got Marty McFly in the passenger seat. It's all over it, mate. It's all over it. Oh, no,
I put the Pepsi Max is in the fridge, my love.
He picked up the Pepsi Max. He bottled
did I ever, mate? No, not at all. I was always going to get it, mate. She deserves Pepsi Max, mate. She's a good one, man. She's decent. Just don't FaceTime me when I'm on a podcast, innit? What are my thoughts on what? I've got a bit lost again. What are my thoughts on what?
Your thoughts on the process, mate? On, like, you know, nurturing the right people. You said you pretty much done that anyway.
Well, I know that
we're listening to you work in the fucking in an ice factory now, mate.
Mate, I've got the ice in the glass. I'm just picking up the vodka as we speak, having a couple of little whoop, whoop, and then put some Pepsi Max in it. Yeah, I know that I wouldn't offend the doctors if I hadn't have been listening to your podcast. 100%.
All I'm going to say is, right, did any of you at any time realise that I've been downstairs, opened the fridge, got a new Guinness Nitro Surge out, fitted the Nitro Surge, got a new glass, put the glass on the side, activated the Nitro Surge, poured the glass, and I've got a perfect pint of Guinness. I don't think you did. But Nelly is trying to put the biggest fucking iceberg into the fucking glassiest glass.
It sounds like he's in the Titanic, mate, and he's just fucking smashed into the iceberg.
Right.
Fucking, it's like, I can hear the fine china smashing off the fucking off the walls.
Has he just found Shackleton's ship? The iceberg.
Is he on the fucking Mary Celeste or something? Fuck's sake.
No, that's done now. Until I need another one, I'll be quiet.
He's done now, but I bet about 20 seconds time he's gonna go. Sorry, I'm just I'm refitting the carburettor in me.
Hold on, I'm just fitting the industrial fan, mate. Just hold on while I test it.
I've just bought a new bandsaw. I'm just testing it out on water.
See, obviously, from my end, I can't hear how noisy I'm being. So Yeah,
Oh,
I
we hadn't noticed
apologise.
it, mate. We hadn't noticed it one bit.
I'll be honest with you, mate. I never even noticed. Never even noticed, mate.
Well,
I
then it
genuinely
didn't happen.
thought for a second, mate, you were on a fucking construction site, mate.
I genuinely thought that you were one of the burglars from Home Alone climbing in the window
The war bandit.
onto the Christmas decorations.
Yeah. Getting smacked in the face with one of those fucking bricks.
Well, I
Oh
look
my
forward
God.
to I look forward to listening back so I can hear myself be cumbersome and
mate.
and noisy.
Turn the volume down, mate. You'll need to, or your eardrums will burst.
Turn the volume down.
So, and do you know what? Before we fucking, because I know we've been on for a while now, I've got a little interesting one for you here, and this is something that's just come out in the news. Google it if you want to, but it's an interesting story. They're saying now that these two people, you know how like if you have the fucking COVID jab and you get your non-fucking, what are they called, the non-vaxxers or the anti-vaxxers, and you get the people. Yeah, and you get the people that are pro-vaccine, and you get the people in the middle like me who just don't give a fuck. Get it in so we can just move forward. Well, there's these two new people that have done research, and they are now saying that antidepressants are really bad for you. So,
Okay.
So what do we do about that then? Something that is a mental health thing, something that I personally take to function on a daily basis. Fucking hell, Nelly! What are you? Are you running a bat?
What happened there?
I told you he'd be doing something.
I just shook my glass, mate. It's like it's not even close to me. I must just have really good microphone on my headphones, isn't it?
Oh man, this is
Sorry,
comedy
man.
gold. This is comedy gold.
One's flashing.
How can I shake my glass without it being too noisy? I'll try. I'll get a spoon.
What are you doing?
The
In
thought
a
process
cocktail
of the matter.
masterclass or something?
Yeah,
No, I've got-
mate. He's doing a cocktail masterclass, mate.
I got a pint of vodka and coke, and it's like loads of ice. Right, that's the last bit.
You wouldn't tell, mate.
Hang on, Jim. He just dropped the jackpot in the fruity.
That is what it sounded like. That is what it sounded
It
like.
sounded like you just pulled out 20 quid in a fucking fruity, mate.
That's genius, Billster.
Oh fucking hell, man! Oh,
So what do you think then? What do you think about that fucker then?
What do I think about that?
Did you hear the question I said?
I don't think there was a question, but there was more of a statement.
Statement,
No,
yeah. So what do you think about
the
statement?
question? He
Well,
missed
you
it.
first, Billy. You
He
first,
missed
Billy.
it. He was too busy knocking about with Tom Cruise, cutting about doing some cocktails.
Do you know what? I did meet Harry Redknapp yesterday.
Go on, mate. Sorry, you're making me fucking laugh here. Come on.
I said I did meet Harry Redknapp yesterday.
Did you?
Was he?
On the phone to James.
So what do you think then, Bill Stowe? What do you think of that? What do you think of that statement?
I'll answer the question, shall I? Right. So, mate. So I don't know. Has there? Who are these people? Are they actual?
Oh yeah, I
people
remember the
that
question.
Have they done medical research? Is there a study that's been done?
They're genuine doctors.
Right.
They're genuine doctors, and they've done a report, and they say that it doesn't produce serotonin. It's all fucking lies, and they're supposedly bad for you. But then I also caveat that with cows used to give you mad cow disease and cancer at one stage in our lives.
We've all heard of the placebo, and for those people who haven't heard of the placebo, it's something that someone has given you and suggested that it does this thing, and you just believe that it happens. For instance, here's a placebo pill. They won't tell you it's a placebo. They'll say, "Oh, this is this new wonder pill, and it will make you lose weight." And then all of a sudden, these people that take it have lost loads of weight, and they go, "Oh my god, it was all down to these pills." But it turns out the pills were just sugar pills or something like that, and they had benefits in them at all. But these people have lost weight purely because they've gone, oh, well, if I'm taking these pills, I'll probably go out and do a little bit more walking, and then I'll eventually get into a jog, and I'll start running. I'll start going down the gym because I'm losing so much weight. And it's, this placebo makes people think about that stuff. So mate, I mean, I don't know about that. Without doing my own research to find out if there is nothing happening from antidepressants. However, I did have someone say to me the other day that they were told the best medication is no medication.
And that is very true. And it is. And do you know what they say? That it's actually, when you're on antidepressants, the doctor said to me, it's harder to come off them when you're on them. He said to me, the process for coming off my antidepressants will be a 2-year process. It's not like a fucking tablet you just stop taking tomorrow. It's a 2-year drawdown process, 6-month increments to come down, so your body doesn't rely on it.
Yeah, and I understand that, if you have been, taking certain things for an extended period of time, of course it's going to take a while for your body to react to not having it. Very much like, heroin addicts. I guarantee you that, the majority of heroin addicts don't want to be fucking like jacking up all the time, so they go and they get the help, and they get an alternative to heroin. I think it's methadone or something like that.
Methadone.
Yeah, methadone. So they get that because they want to come off it. Because if they just stopped, their body would just go into fucking failure. So it will take time with that. But on the other hand, when someone says, the best medication is no medication, well, I'd caveat that by saying someone who's had a serious, I don't know, let's say a traumatic amputation or something, and they go, hey, listen, I was going to give you some morphine, but the best medication is no medication. So just
medication.
Yeah,
By the way,
for you.
The thing is, that almost reminds me of saying, you don't need a tablet, you just need to man up.
Be happy.
You just got to be happy. Why haven't you got a fucking smile on your face?
Turn that frown upside down, rainy face.
And the thing is, mate, I've been on them for fucking 4 years, and I have seen I've managed to do what I've managed to do. Basically, I've always maintained. Nelly runs the bath. I've always maintained.
Fuck's sake!
I've always maintained that, providing you like. Antidepressants for me, they're just a thing that gets you up in the day to do your normal, everyday, business as usual shit. It doesn't give you any extra fucking spark. It doesn't make you a fucking hero. It doesn't sort your shit out. But what it does do is stop you fucking thinking suicidal shit. And then I think, for me, the real time that the antidepressants, I suppose, showed their worth was when I started fucking 8 months ago to go, I'm not being this fucking person anymore. I've had enough. I want to be the person I used to be. I fucking need to sort my shit out. And it gave me the additional strength to function daily, as well as my own personal, mental state was improved because I wanted to improve it. And that's where I think they come in.
Yeah, but I'm going to put my 10 pence in here to any of those listeners that are currently on medication. Please don't take our word as gospel.
Absolutely.
Don't stop taking your tablets, okay? You've been prescribed them by a medical professional. Please follow the guidance of the medical professional, not me, who's just spouting shit right now.
Yeah, we are just talking out loud. We're not psychiatrists.
Yeah, I haven't gone to medical school for 9 years, unlike your doctor who's actually done these studies and has given you the stuff that they recommended.
Exactly, and that's where 110% take the fucking tablets that you are meant to. That's what I said. For me, I've carried on taking it. Professional advised me to take it. Professional said keep taking it. There's a drawdown period when he feels I need to stop taking it. At the moment, I am absolutely I'm in a better place because I want to do it mentally for myself.
And let's go back to that terrible period just at the end of last year when you were very close, right? Let's say that you them tablets that you were taking at the time that you weren't taking, that you just stopped taking them, maybe, mate, it wouldn't have sent that signal to your brain to say, don't do it.
Oh, mate, mate, what? I've had 3 episodes where I've not wanted to be here, and the first one, I literally was how I fucking got past that. I don't know. The second one was kind of when I decided I wanted to go back on medication. The third one was the one where it was completely and utterly overwhelming. But I can say, if I hadn't been taking the professional advice that I was given and carried on with it religiously in the guidance of the doctor, I can probably 99.9% say that I wouldn't have had the Nelly's going for a pee by the sound of things. I can hand on heart say that my own mental state wouldn't have been strong enough knowing what I was the first time round to what I was the third time round. And bearing in mind, I've got family, I've got, friends, loved ones. It wasn't like I didn't have the support, but that did absolutely give me the strength to probably think about it a bit harder than I would have done without it.
Yeah, man. Yeah, and thank fucking God you did, mate.
I know, mate. No, and I appreciate that, mate. It was one of those things, and it wasn't like I didn't have loads of fucking. Well, I thought I had loads of people around me. I didn't. It turns out, and that's been nurtured into, like I said, you've got being open and honest, and that's probably where it'd be nice to. It's important to be open and honest about your mental state, how you feel. Don't turn it into a fucking nag fest or a bitch and moan, but try to positively ask for that help. Positively acknowledge that you need that help. That's if you actively reach out and say, I need fucking help, you will get a better response than sitting there and going, I don't want to bitch and moan and be negative about it,
Yeah, and if someone gives you that even a little ounce of a teaser that they need help, then if you're listening, acknowledge it to them. Just go, listen, man, I'm hearing you. Let's do something about it. Let's, you might not be able to give it like a medical advice or anything like that, but like I said earlier, just mate, I hear you. Come in, sit down. Let's have a chat. Let's just take 5 minutes. Let's meet up later. Let's go and do something. Let me introduce you to some new activity that you might like, or just let's do something and people to acknowledge it.
And that's exactly what you did. You were like, mate, they're building. I've contacted the people about fucking painting model aircraft because it gets me that fucking releasing artwork, and that's down the road from me. And that was something you looking out for me. And I absolutely think that it's a case of more a case of listening. I think is more of a. It's okay to talk, but it's actually better as well to be a listener. And if one of you guys, if you're not sounding on point, or someone sounds a little bit depressed or a little bit unhappy, just ask them, are they okay? And it might lead into a conversation that is just over a cup of tea, but it makes them go home and go, someone fucking cares. I'm not gonna think negative thoughts tonight because the humans have been restored. My faith has been restored that people genuinely care.
Yeah, mate. And like let's go back 2 podcasts ago when I was on here and I was fucking on cloud 9, mate. I couldn't fucking do anything else. Then we go back to 1 podcast ago when you even said to me, you said, what's going on? And I went, I'm not where I was last week. And you're going to have that, mate. You're going to have them ups and downs. And by you saying, well,
but what did I do?
Yeah, you said, you said, what's changed? And I went, oh, well, I just don't think I've done enough phys. You said, get out. Fucking get on the fucking running machine then, or go and do your fucking scuba diving or something. And I did, and now we're back again to where I'm skipping home from work, mate. Do you know what I mean? I'm skipping to work, not literally. You know what I mean? I don't want to be.
No, you are, you fucking fairy.
Yeah, I actually do skip to work. I actually do skip to work most days.
You skipper.
But the thing is, when you spoke to me and you said to me, I'm not in a great place, I'm not going to do fitness. I said to you, do a run in the morning. Fucking, I'm going to message you. So I messaged you in the morning. You fucking chinned me off because you knew you didn't fitness. And then you went, that little bit of guilt, you jumped in, and now look at you. A fucking week later, you're on cloud 9 again. You're going fucking diving. You're going shooting. All these things you're talking about. You're rescuing people, mate. And I think that that's the positivity. That's what you create. And it's like the same with Nelly. Like you said, he's hit the nail on the head. Every morning when he sends a fucking real positive message, every now and then we get a positive video that he's doing skipping and parkouring. This morning, we got a fucking message from him with a smile on his face. This is an amazing story. He fucking smiled on his face.
Tell it properly. Tell it properly.
Stranger.
That's what Kieran said.
Well, you tell it. You tell it.
So this morning, Kieran come on his voice message, and he was like, he was just being silly, and he said, in fact, today, find yourself a stranger and just give him a hug. And like, I was walking through town to work, and I didn't even need anything. I didn't even buy anything. I went into Tesco's, didn't even buy anything, and I went up to the woman behind the counter. I said, "Can I have a quick word?" And she was like, yeah, sure. And I don't get me wrong, I do know her, as in she works at the local Tesco's near my house. So I've spoke to her before. She knows I support Sheffield United, and she gives me shit about the fact that I support Sheffield United. And she come round, and I said, "Can I?" And I don't blame you, bruv. I don't blame you. And I said, "Can I have a hug, mate?" And she's like, "Yeah, of course." And took a selfie of me giving this lady a hug, and I know it cheered up me. It definitely cheered me up, mate. She got a little feel on my ass as well, so she cheered her up. Cheered her up.
Oh, lovely. Thing is, how amazing is that as a fucking story, mate? We're just chatting in the morning in this little positive vibe group. Kieran instigates something. Nelly fucking jumps on it, and fucking boom, it's led to making her day, smiles on faces, a nice memory, and here we are talking about it. That's the type of shit that people need to do.
Well, moreover, I bet she went home, and I bet she talked about it, and I bet someone else told that, like, oh, guess what Mum did today? Some Mr. J, the twat from the local school, come round and gave me a hug in the middle of work and whatnot. And yeah, it is just about positivity, breeding positivity. For me, that's kind of where I'm at. Is like,
what a fantastic story, mate! That is fantastic, and you're right there, Nelly. She probably go back and talk about it, and then she'll go to work tomorrow, and she'll go up to some random and go, "Yeah, can I give you a hug?" And yeah, I mean, and it'll just spiral on, mate. I think that's such a fantastic story. I'm not going to do it though.
I might do it, mate, but I might get fucking arrested. Oh, Nelly's banged out. He's literally gone, fuck it, I'm chinned off, mate. Right, I tell you what, mate, should we fucking knock it on the head there? Because I'm conscious of your evening.
Yeah, man, we can do. And to be honest with you, I'm how can you not be happy like Nelly when you're dropping the jackpot and discovering ancient artifacts whilst on the call?
I thought at one point, mate, he'd found fucking Tutankhamun's fucking treasure, mate, and he was digging through the fucking pyramids.
I'm surprised he didn't say fucking Yahoo as he's just fucking mined for oil in the middle of the desert and struck fucking black gold.
He's like, I've solved fucking the world oil crisis.
Unbelievable, mate. The Arabs are in turmoil, mate. They're like, our money's going down as fucking Nelly's just fucking struck the fucking jackpot.
Mate, he literally, I've never known anything, mate, like it. He was only taking a sip and it sounded like that he had an avalanche.
I cannot believe it, mate. Honestly, we need to buy him some foam or something to wrap round his microphone next time.
Oh, he needs something, mate. He definitely needs something. But no, mate, today's been. You've put a massive smile on my face, and I like to be open and honest. I like to be talking, and like I said, we spoke today. Paddy Pimblett, I think's, just to give him a little bit of an acknowledgement, that he really is using that platform to talk. It's just opened up a world of conversation. We've had a massive dynamic between negatives, positives, and how we look at life. But this certainly makes me smile. It makes me smile. I want to make this routine, mate, because it does make me smile every fucking week. And I do look forward to it.
Well, listen, if there's any listeners out there that are, that have this might even be your first time listening, or you've listened to a couple or something like that. We've been talking about these positive effects and spiraling and stuff like that. Just, let's give you a challenge. Just one challenge is, if you are chatting to someone, why don't you just mention this podcast? Not because we want listens, but because maybe it might help someone, and they might go, oh, I tell you what, I won't just listen to this one, I'll listen to the first ever one, and I'll listen, and I'll discover a little bit more, something, a tip, a hint, something I could do, or maybe even just something random random bollocks that's fucking James has said that makes people smile just for that, 5 seconds of their fucking day to improve it. There's your challenge. Introduce the podcast to someone.
Amazing, mate. I'm not even going to say anything. I just really appreciate that, mate. You've been here from the start of this fucking journey, mate. It's grown arms and legs, and every month we are getting more listeners. We are getting more views. And for me personally, like I said, this isn't about trying to be fucking famous or any shit like that. This is just about naturally trying to help people. And, I couldn't do it without the support from you guys around me. So massively appreciate it. And the great sentimental words there, mate. So hopefully we do hit the target and we help someone.
Let's hope so, mate. And even if it, if it's like we said earlier, if it's only one person, then it's all worthwhile, mate. It is all worthwhile.
And 9 times out of 10, mate, you're always going to be guaranteed one person, because I get a lot out of this personally. So for me, there's a guarantee. I do get so much out of this. I get so much about talking. I love the sound of my voice, but at the same time, I do love interacting. And this is kind of a nice platform for us to have a good fucking conversation. And it's kind of easy. It's easy talking, isn't it? I mean, that's an hour and a half, mate.
And you've scheduled it so you don't chin me off when I call. So.
No, I just fucking do other stupid shit on the call, mate.
Yeah, but at least you're not fucking, recalibrating your fucking time machine in the fucking background, mate. Do you know what I mean?
Fucking trying to get hold of fucking Doc and Marty McFly.
I'll see next time if he can reroute his entire fucking house plumbing next time, just to be a bit quieter.
He's just done his heating, actually, mate. He might be able to fucking do that as well, mate. Start fucking smashing lead pipes down and shit. He's got to be. The thing is, what gets me, and I have to finish on this, mate. He lives close to the beach. So why has he chose a fucking gravel path when he could have chose a sandy beach?
Oh, mate, I don't know.
I'll give him a bit of shit next time, mate. I'll give him. He's just been. Unfortunately, Nelly's been booted, so he can listen to this back. But thanks again for Nelly for joining in as well, mate. It's always great to talk, and it'd be nice if I can try and fucking coax Kieran on one day to have a little chat with us, and we'll have a 4-way. We always want 4 ways as men.
You dirty bastard.
Well, no thanks, Bilster, mate. I really appreciate it, mate, and I hope you have an absolutely sterling evening, my man.
As ever, mate, it's always a pleasure just to chat to you and just and attend the gentleman's talk.
Yeah, absolutely, mate, and good luck with your swimming. I can't wait to see the fucking photos and hear about it on Monday. See if you can save someone else's life again, mate.
Well, let's hope I don't have to, mate.
No, but it's good something to talk about, though, isn't it?
Yeah, fair one, mate. Fair one.
All right, buddy.
You take care, mate, and all your listeners. Hopefully, I'll speak to you soon.
Yeah, we'll see you all soon. Take care, everybody.